Clare Means Business, a Clare FM exclusive podcast with Josh Prenderville.
Hello and welcome to Clare Means Business. It's that time of the week again. Thanks for being with us, and we're very grateful of you lending your ear to us for the next 20 minutes or so as we delve deeper really into some of the issues and noteworthy stories around this county's business community. Later we'll look at a new report that's identifying quite a number of significant challenges that businesses are having in terms of getting back on their feet after what's obviously been a really difficult period for all. Firstly though, we've had a habit lately of recognising people on this podcast who've flown the flag for the banner and have won awards at national level and local level recognising their business achievements. And guess what? We have another one off the conveyor belt this week, I'm glad to say. Meelick-based Burr Collins won the Established Business Award at the recent Network Ireland National Business Women of the Year Awards. Burr is with Crystal Clear Springs, who provide sustainable and contactless water solutions amongst other things, and they're based in the village as well. She's here now with me on the podcast. Burr, thanks for speaking to us. Congratulations, first of all. Obviously fantastic for you to get recognised on a personal level on such a prominent national scale.
Oh, Josh, do you know something? I think I'm still, sometimes I think I'm dreaming. It was just so fantastic to win because, you know, the standard of applicants is phenomenal. Like, there were amazing women around the country doing fantastic things and running fantastic businesses. So I suppose for our business to have been recognised like that and have won was it just fantastic. We're just absolutely thrilled and over the moon to have won it. I suppose Limerick, the Limerick network is just, there's such a fantastic bunch of women, and the support, I've never experienced it in my life, such support from a group of women. They just literally, I was saying it in my interview for this award, they literally lift you up and help you to shine. Yes. They're just so supportive, and anything that you need, and the encouragement that I got to go for the award in the first place. Like, I've been a member of the network, I suppose, for about, I think it's just over 2 years now. And I was hesitant about going for it and thinking, oh, you know, I suppose, you know, not wanting maybe to put yourself out there and kind of been nervous about it.
I suppose all of us have that in a way when we put ourselves forward for things, don't we? It's interesting to hear. And of course, then you ended up winning, which is great.
I know, exactly. So yeah, we were, I was nervous about putting myself forward, but they were all just so encouraging and saying, go for it, go for it. And of course, you know, as maybe you're aware, the Limerick network actually came back with 4 awards. Yes. We literally raised the flag. So it's, you know, it was brilliant. It was brilliant to be part of that and to have won one of them.
Tell me about the work then that saw you win the award with Crystal Clear, because I guess particularly in the last 12 to 18 months, certainly in the context of the pandemic and even before that really, I think we were all becoming much more carbon aware when it came to things like single-use plastics, and obviously that's a mindset and a mentality that you guys are tapping into.
I suppose we actually bought an existing business in 2017, and we straight away could see the potential for the business. And it was, I suppose, around that time that people were becoming more aware of trying to reduce plastic waste. And we just, I suppose, you know, there was a lot of luck involved in our timing around it, that this was going on. And so straight away, when we started to put our focus on providing this solution to schools and colleges and hospitals and nursing homes and businesses, straight away it worked and it appealed to people. And particularly in Clare, you know, there's one school in Ennis that really sticks out in my mind, because when we met them first, they were recycling 600 plastic bottles every single day. Wow. And not only were they recycling them, but in order to recycle them, they had to empty them, because the kids were leaving them around half filled with water and just leaving them in corridors and on, you know, seats at the side of the corridor and so on. So the poor caretaker had to go around and empty the bottles first and then recycle them.
I'd say the caretaker was quite happy to see you guys walking in the door then.
Yep, it absolutely was. Because literally when we put in, I think we put in 4 machines for them, and they went from recycling 600 plastic bottles a day to 0.
And I suppose the fact that you've mentioned schools specifically, colleges, nursing homes, what I noticed at the end of your list was businesses. And I suppose when a lot of people would think of those water cooler moments, to coin a phrase, and they would think of maybe the disposable cups that are sitting at the big container of water that maybe people sitting at their desks go to and discuss what was on telly on a Friday or whatever it might be. Has your business model had to change as a result of the pandemic then, in terms of obviously offices having been closed for so long? Or was it always, I guess, a target, if you like, to look at other institutions like schools and nursing homes first and foremost?
I suppose we had been very focused on the schools and colleges. I suppose one of the things that just is coming to mind there in relation to offices, where our business has changed a little bit, is that people suddenly got very conscious about where their hands were and what they were touching. And so these water coolers in the office suddenly became like a little bit of fear around them, I suppose. And that is where we came in with our contactless units. So our units are actually mains fed. So we don't have these big bottles of water. Our whole thing is say goodbye to plastic. So we don't do these. Ours are all mains fed. But we then sourced contactless versions of the machines to give the businesses that reassurance, I suppose, that nobody had to touch them. They could still stand around their water cooler and have their chat about Coronation Street or whatever and get their water, but they didn't have to touch anything. So that was a really big thing. And the units we had been putting into schools were contactless anyway. So the schools were, I suppose, they were a little bit afraid in the beginning, and they stopped the kids using them for a while because the students were congregating maybe at the unit, so they stopped that for a little bit. But that has come back again now, and I think people have relaxed maybe a little bit more about it. But again, those units are contactless. I'd
imagine that, I suppose, more or less all of your models going forward, when you're looking at new customers, will be going down that route then, rather than the compostable cup scenario and things like that, which I know that you had previously.
Yes, we've moved. Yeah, we used, in the beginning, the business was providing plastic cups, but actually we did that from the very beginning. We moved all of our customers over to compostable versions. So places like nursing homes and hospitals where you have to have these disposable cups, you think of the amount of plastic that they were going through every time somebody took a little drink with this plastic cup. So straight away we sourced a compostable version of those, and that is. Now I don't feel so bad sending out a box of these, because in the beginning, every time I was sending out a box of these, it just hurt sending out more plastic into the world. So it was great to find that compostable version for them.
Obviously, your business in particular has a certain element of corporate social responsibility that might not be seen in other businesses, just by the very nature of your business model. Have you any idea or estimate? You mentioned that school in Ennis earlier, which obviously saw a dramatic reduction in the amount of bottles it had to recycle or whatever. Kind of on average, how much institutions are able to cut down, I guess, when they're using, I suppose, products like yourselves?
Well, I don't have an overall figure, Josh, but I know that there is, like, we have, I think, about 30 of these units in University of Limerick. And one of those machines, we took a figure off it the other day. There's, I think, 4 machines in their library out there. And one of the machines has clocked up 1.5 million bottles of water. So that is 1.5 million plastic bottles saved on that one machine alone.
That is something else. I suppose you mentioned University of Limerick, you've mentioned schools in Ennis. There's quite a local feel, I suppose, for some of the examples you've given. In terms of a national presence or an expansion maybe in the medium to long term, is that something that you're looking at maybe expanding further, even internationally, or is it a case of walking before you can run?
I don't think internationally, but we are already in schools from Donegal to Waterford to Dublin to Galway and up the centre of Ireland. We are all over the country already. What we are looking to move into, and we have started to move into already now, is helping the hospitality sector to reduce their costs and reduce their plastic waste. So we're providing water as a service. So being able to help them, for example, where you'd stay in a hotel and they might have a plastic bottle of water in the bedroom or a glass bottle of water, or they're providing maybe bottles of water at breakfast or dinner. So we're going to provide units to the hospitality sector where they can cut back on both their glass and plastic waste, but by providing them with units that can help them deliver still and sparkling water to their guests.
That's fascinating, because I suppose you stay in a hotel, you're so used to getting the key to the room, slotting the card in, throwing the luggage on the bed, and then you have whether it be the glass or the plastic bottle of water, maybe two of them if there's two of you there, sitting on the table beside you. The future might be that there's a crystal clear product in each hotel room, certainly in some facilities where that's a thing of the past then.
That's exactly it. And we're already in a few 5-star hotels already around the country. And it's just, you think of all of the areas where we're using these plastic bottles and where they pop up. And so I suppose the hospitality sector, for the hospitality sector to do this actually helps them to win more business. I was talking to a girl recently who arranges kind of conferences and for people to come here and hold their conferences in Ireland. And she was saying that a big part of it is how green the location is that they're coming to, that would actually factor in to their decision to hold a conference maybe in a particular hotel. So our solution will help them to gain business by being more green. So that's our focus that we've started kind of earlier this year now, is on moving into that and helping hotels and the hospitality sector to win more business like that by being more green.
One to keep an eye on and look forward to in the future. Burr Collins, based in Meelick of Crystal Clear Springs, thanks very much for speaking to me on Clare Means Business.
You're welcome. It was lovely. Thanks, Josh.
Burr Collins of Crystal Clear Springs there, based in Meelick. And Burr won the Established Business Award at the recent Network Ireland National Businesswoman of the Year Awards. Good luck to her and her business as they move forward into exciting new times.